Hey, what's up everyone? It's Dr. Glenn Vo. I'm in Dallas, Texas at the Dallas Dental Group, the office of Dr. Layla Lohmann. This is amazing practice, and this is another episode of Dental Cribs.
So before we get into our episode, I'd like to give a shout out to Mango Voice, one of our premier sponsors. Mango Voice offers voice over IP phones for dental practices, but it's so much more. Go check them out and make sure you ask for the Nifty Thrifty deal.
All right, we're at the Dallas Dental Group and with Dr. Layla Lohmann. Thank you so much for having us here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so let's, first of all, this is an amazing office. Just walking in, I can't wait to walk through the whole office, but I have to ask you this. When did the office open? And was this like a startup? Did you take over another office? And who did all the decorating? Because it's amazing. I just threw a whole bunch of questions at you.
That was great questions. We started in 2015, but actually I had my practice in 2014, and then we moved in with Dr. Charles Rankin in 2015. So, I'm a part of Apex Dental Partners. It's a group. And so we do group practice models, and we merged in 2015 to this beautiful location.
Now, did you do the decorating yourself?
I did not. My lovely support office has a decorator who came in and we told them our idea. We wanted clean, we wanted modern. We gave them the ideas, and they made it come to fruition.
All right, well, I can't wait to go through this practice. Let's do it.
Okay, come on in.
So Layla, one thing I noticed right when we walked in is everything seems open. There's a lot of windows there and just the artwork. And of course, I had to point this out right here. OUUT, obviously. I think we need to move things around, but I guess geographically is correct. But is that part of the philosophy, just making it open? Because that's the first thing I noticed when I walked in here.
It was. I think the concept behind this office, when we actually built it out, so the space was completely unfinished. Mm-hmm. I think it was just being more open and transparent, right? So when you walk in, we didn't want to feel like enclosed. We want it to be open, airy, and the glass windows is specifically so patients can feel like they can see in. And
here
we're not hiding anything.
Yeah,
right.
And right over here where the panel machine
Correct.
is too. Like you don't feel like you're trapped anywhere.
No, and that's the thing is when people come to dentists, claustrophobic, they feel intimidated. So you wanted to make it open and inviting.
And the artwork, again, I'm going to tell you, I love the artwork there.
I'd like to thank our decorators.
Yeah, and again, you have amazing decorators. Now, obviously, I'm a UT guy, and we have an OU person.
Yeah, right.
But she's still cool.
Right.
But there. But why is this significant? Because again, you went to OU, but there's someone else here that.
Dr. Brendan Welch, who works with me, came last year on when our other doctor retired. And he is a huge UT fan. So when he brings that color, that color to my practice, I'm like, oh, who wears orange? So Dr. White, who's also one of our coworkers, made that. He handmade that. And I asked him if we would be able to flip that over it. And he said no, because I would break it. But you never know.
And I love that. Again, that's the personal touch. And what we're going to notice here, there's a lot of personal touches here. So let's keep going here.
Come on down.
All right, so we are in the hygiene wing of the practice. So Layla, I'm going to ask you, how many ops are on the hygiene side?
Well, in hygiene hall, there's 6 operatories. The premise of why we chose to do hygiene on one side and the doctors on the other was how big this office was. We didn't want patients to feel that it was big. We still wanted it to feel homey and welcome, just like every practice that they walk into and our previous practices before we merged. So our hope was that when you walk in, you see your front desk, your reception, your people who are helping you, then you can go directly to your hygiene, and then you walk out with nothing, it's just very short, right? It's a short walk, it's very calming. But if you also need to go to the doctor's side, it's just right to the other side.
All right, so we are in the doctor wing here.
Yes.
And so tell me a little bit how many ops are here and also the philosophy behind the design for the doctor ops.
I think the philosophy is more similar to the hygiene hall, right? But there's 11 doctor operatories. We wanted each of the doctors to have 2 operatories each with 1 overflow room. Each of them are personalized per their doctor. I think patients who are coming to see that doctor want to see a little bit about them. So I've asked all the doctors when they work with us to make it your own.
Yeah, and we're gonna check out one of them, one of my favorite ones. But before we go over there, I also noticed that it's also minimal as well, right?
Correct.
Like, I mean, there's not a bunch of cabinets on the side. There's not a
Correct.
bunch of things, and there's a lot of carts that you can kind of wheel in and out. Again, it makes the operatory feel really big. And again, is that something that was intentional as well in the design?
It absolutely was intentional, right? You want to feel like it's not claustrophobic.
Yeah.
And I think the whole idea behind it was you can bring things to operatories. You can't take cabinets out.
Yeah, that is true.
Right?
That is
so,
true.
you know, when we were like, oh, where are we going to put this? Nifty Thrifty, you go to IKEA and grab something that's in your color scheme and you move it over. And so therefore, all 3 providers can use the same products, but not necessarily have them directly in their rooms.
All right, so we're gonna go into my favorite Dr. Op here.
That's my favorite too.
Yeah, and then we're gonna talk about, again, the personalization because I love that. So let's go check that out right now.
Come on.
So Layla, I already told you this. This is one of my favorite things. Is actually, this is the favorite op in the practice because I love how all the ops are personalized with pictures and whatnot. And so I already told you, I'm totally gonna do this in my practice. So let's go through here. Again, the caricatures, it's like so cool. Talk about just the philosophy behind that. And then also, I'm sure your patients come in, they're like, hey, asking questions about that. And they're probably not even thinking about their treatment anymore.
Right.
Was that intentional as well?
It absolutely was intentional. I think one of the fundamental things that I enjoy about dentistry is the connection. So most of the time when patients first come, I don't talk dentistry. I just talk about the person. I love the people aspect of it. I love the relational aspect of it. And so what I want them is to invite them into my life because I'm about to be in theirs, whether it's new patient experience, whether it's extensive dental work. All of it is an intimate process. And they are vulnerable. You know, I want them to show them that I'm vulnerable and that together we can get them to a happy, healthy smile. So I invite them to my family, to our yearly photos.
Yeah.
I invite them to my son and daughter color and pictures for me, and we talk about that. It's just like a fun piece where they're like seeing action shots of my life. And
of course the caricatures. I mean,
I have to tell you the story.
That's an icebreaker right there.
I think the real interesting thing about the caricatures is my father-in-law first is the one who introduced us to Bill Kalfas art. He is a man in Oklahoma that you get 6 or 7 face photos and you send it to him. And then you tell them 6 or 7 things about you and he creates this beautiful caricature image. So that's 11 years ago. Obviously you can see me, long hair. I look like a baby. Not that I haven't changed. And then my husband. And the thing that points out in each one of these is they look from that one to that one and they're like, so what happened to your husband's hair? And I'm like, and then you can just see family growth and you can see little things with each of my children in there. And so it's just a fun little piece where they get to see like Netflix and it's very detailed. So this man is an artist. So I actually do it every 5 years. So I have one from this one's from 2013, this one's from 2017, and then this one's from 2021. So a new one should be coming soon.
Wow, and I just love that because, you know, patients are sitting there, they get to know about you, and that's like the ultimate icebreaker right there. I already told you, I'm going to do it in my practice. For those who are watching, you guys are probably going to do the same thing, and again, this is amazing. All right, so let's keep going here. There's so much more to see.
Absolutely, come on.
All right, so we are going, and again, I love the openness of the practice, and again, the glass doors makes everything more open. So we're in the lab, which is super important when you have a bunch of different dentists here doing different things here. Tell us about the philosophy with the lab here.
Our philosophy was we wanted each doctor to have a little section that they can be able to do anything that they needed, acrylic, dentures, adjust temporaries, make night guards, make bleach trays. But again, the attention is open and clean. I'm very much
And I
into
saw that there, the
cleanliness.
cleanse, because again,
Clean.
whenever you're in the lab,
Dirty.
depending on what lab you're in, sometimes it's a mess, and it's like messy and dirty.
And you don't know who's using it,
Yeah.
right? Like when you're coming in with 3 people, 3 providers, you don't know what's clean or dirty. So we've made a indicator about what's clean and dirty.
Another thing that I'm going to use as well. Now, tell us about the sterilization area. Again, I noticed it's very neat, but the flow it's open, it's easy to move through. So
Yeah.
tell us about the philosophy of how you set up the sterilization area.
So the way we set up the sterilization area was really neat because we wanted patients to be able to see it, but not know all the little gross things that we deal with. So intentionally, we have a computer and an area where we keep some of the materials. And you walk in, and there's a clear delineation of dirty area, and we make sure that it's a gloved, everything that's part of the regulations. And then on the left side, we have our trays for all of our hygienists, and we color coordinate things because people can be territorial. And so as accommodating as we can be, we make sure that everyone has what they need, and we try to set all of our hygienists up for success by having the 8 trays available to them. So we may have more upfront building in our budget of getting them 8 of these things instead of sterilizing them and then resetting them up. But that was something we intentionally did over time where we're like, hey, we've got 4, let's go 5, 6, and be nifty thrifty about it.
There you go. I love it. All right, so we're going to move on to the doctor's area, their doctor's office. Okay, so we're at the doctor's office, and here's the thing with the doctor's office. Either they're too small, they're like a broom closet, and it's depressing, or it's too big, it's like someone's bedroom. What I love about the doctor's office here is that it's not really big, but the space was really utilized, efficiently. Everyone has their own desk, everyone has their own computer, there's lighting, there's cabinets to put your stuff in there. Talk about the design here, and of course, the door, glass door, people can walk in, they can look, I think you were saying it's inviting.
Yeah, I think the intention behind it was that we wanted to keep the openness of it. The doctors do need a space to do things that they need to do, where maybe it's a phone call to specialists or have a phone conversation with patients. So I think the intention was that, staff and patients could see us doing something and working, but it's closed enough that we can have it personal. And then each of us have our own area, which we've personalized with our own photos, and we've made it our own. And it intentionally has stuff where you can keep things where you don't have to take it back and forth from home. And we did it because this was going to be a 3-doctor practice. So there's 3 doctors, and we actually have the same office as our office manager. So we partner with our office manager to lead the team together. We've got clinical leadership, we've got business leadership, and we all have to be able to have conversations together. So sometimes the doctors talk too much and the business manager's like, doctors, can you keep typing? Or it goes the opposite way. So it's been a really fun time working and collaborating with doctors and our business leads. It's a great time, and I think for our patients, it's very inviting. You walk in and you can go from hygiene hall to doctor hall, and the doctors are right there.
And I think it's also inviting to team members, because sometimes I've seen some offices where there was no window, it's just door, and you're kind of walking in there and just like knock, hygiene check. Here it's like you can see them, you can say hello and all those things,
or you can say come on in, or you can say give me a minute. Right? It gives you a little bit of both aspects. Where if you are in the middle of something, but it may not look like you're busy, because perception is not always there, right?
Yeah.
You assume someone's doing something, but we can be like, we'll be there in just a minute.
And I'll say that the openness, the lighting, the fact that the actual doctor desks are functional, it's not depressing either.
It's not.
If your office is like a broom closet, it gets pretty depressing.
It's gloomy.
But this is like, I think that, again, efficient but also open keeps the spirits up there.
And that was the intention behind the whole office, right? Open, inviting, and efficient.
All right, so we're in the break room,
Yes.
and just like everything in this office, it's very intentional. Open. There's a
Open.
lot of
Yep.
space.
Inviting.
bright. It's not
Correct.
gloomy,
Correct.
right? People are coming here to decompress, to relax, to get something to eat,
Correct.
to get ready for the rest of the day. But I also noticed that you have a lot of inspiring messages.
Yeah,
you
motivation.
have all these things for motivation. So I'm assuming that was intentional as well. So talk about this, but also talk about the space itself.
Well, the space itself, we just wanted to make sure people had a place to eat.
Yeah.
We wanted a place where we didn't put too many tables. We wanted them to also work together. Everybody has their own locker to put their own personal stuff in. And, you know, we wanted to, this is the door they come in on, right to our left. And we wanted when they come in, our office manager was really important to bring messages, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what someone went through during the day or the morning or the night before, but when you walk in, our thought was, look at this, like find something that resonates with you. Focus on solutions, not problems. Maybe remember our mission, right? Remember our mission to our patients, remember our mission to our team, remember our mission to ourselves. And, you know, what do we serve? We serve others. And then it just tells you, how do we serve others? And that actually came from one of our monthly meetings. We asked them, how do you serve others? How do we serve others? And that's everybody's words written in the time of our meeting, and we post it back up. And we try to be very intentional and motivational.
And what I've noticed too here, again, right next to it is the stock room.
Right.
And the biggest thing I noticed there is that, again, it's open, right?
Open.
And you actually can find the things you need. I mean,
Organized.
So many practices that, yeah, they have some nice cabinets and things are tucked away. And then you realize that you have some expired bond that was up there from 2 years ago. You didn't realize it was up there.
Correct.
But here you see everything. So again, talk about the design there and the commitment to being efficient.
You'll see, actually, it's funny, it's intentional, the amount of width that we had, because you know when you get depth, things get hidden, right?
Yeah.
That expired bond,
Yeah.
right? So when you look over there, we intentionally tried to make things organized in a way that made sense. Disposable products, you know, things that we use, trash bags, and everything in between. And I'm going to tell you, probably once a year, we reinvent what that looks like. It's not just the same thing every time, because we change our products.
Yeah.
We change what we do. We change what we use. We change if we get a better deal on something. Every year we take the week between Christmas and New Year's off.
Yeah.
Even though it's a super, super productive time, we intentionally try to figure out how to clean up for the next year.
And, you know, I think that it's also good to take that time as well mentally, even for the team, just to get yourself ready and prepared
For the
the
new
following
year.
year.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Layla, thank you so much for having us here. I mean, amazing office. I've actually got a lot of great ideas for my own practice. I'm really inspired as well. So thank you so much for having us here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, and I love being a part of this program, and you do amazing things with Nifty Thrifty deals. So thank you for doing this for all of our colleagues. Now get out.
See you guys later. We got to get going.